So the countdown to this year's World Cup is well and truly on as 32 nations combine to create the greatest sporting spectacular on the bloody planet. But in this video, I'm going to try and answer you one simple question. Can Poland win this year's World Cup? That's right, folks, back once again with another World Cup summary video. That's right, where we're going to try and answer one simple question. Can this nation actually go out and win the World Cup out in Qatar? We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe button, bang it, all things World Cup related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football itself related. We got it all here, boys, under one roof. Of course, the countdown is well and truly on, with the tournament set to kick off in November 2022, of course. But what's going to happen this coming World Cup? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. And if you are interested in helping out the channel in another way, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Patreon, and of course there's a Discord in there. So get in amongst it and let's get chatting. Alright, let's take a look at Poland then. Of course, coming at you over in Group C, something like that. We'll talk about their group in a second. Of course, let's take a little look at how Poland got to the World Cup out in Qatar first and foremost. They qualified, of course, as UEFA Playoff Path B winners. We'll elaborate on that shortly. Of course, they qualified on the 29th of March 2022. They've been at 9 tournaments in the past. 2018 out in Russia was their last. That's the two tournaments in succession for them, with their best back in 74 and 82, where they finished in the bronze medal spot. Of course, they qualified down here right now, as you can see, behind England. 26 points on the board, just a couple of defeats to the name in their respective group. Of course, ahead of the likes of Albania and a very, very difficult Hungary. Of course, then they took on the playoff journey, where they were paired up against Russia, who had to be pulled out or were forced out because of the crisis going on between themselves and Ukraine, which is fair enough, understandably so. So a bit of a gimme there for Poland, but then they took on the winners between Sweden and the Czech Republic, which the Swedes came out on top after extra time. A very difficult pathway this was. All 4 of those nations, realistically, when they're all competing and competitive, could qualify none the same. But Poland came out on top in that final against Sweden. So Lewandowski ousted Abramovich, of course, to make up one of the 32 nations that go to Qatar 2022. Czesław Minoret is your manager, of course, but the key man, of course, for me, will be Robert Lewandowski, who's made the switch this coming summer to Barcelona. He's finally got that move happening, which has been bubbling for about 2 or 3 years now, I think. But he's there, and of course, he's already scoring goals for Barcelona, and of course, that will be a monumental boost for Poland as long as he stays fit. Of course, with Lewandowski, you've got probably the best striker in the world, who's been robbed of accolades, world accolades over the past few years, in the shadows of a Messi, or aging Messi and an aging Ronaldo. You know, when you score the amount of goals that Lewandowski has done over the past decade and more, you need to grant that, or you need to reward that success in one way or another. He has got the club accolades for Bayern, of course, a tremendous amount of Bundesliga, of course, Champions League as well. And now he's gone to La Liga to try and add to that tally, but of course bringing in some La Liga titles, maybe even, of course, the Champions League from Barcelona, of course. But on an international level, Poland are a difficult team to play against. Whether you know, they don't get me wrong, I think they fall in a bracket where they could be a contender for this World Cup, but they could also be embarrassed in the group stages. Of course, if you've got to get Lewandowski up and running with, of course, get the goals in, get them scoring nice and early in the tournament, and then the momentum will build, and hopefully Poland can be with us into the quarterfinals and beyond. That's, of course, my expectations for Poland. Can they do it? We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look at the group then. Of course, the key match for me is against Mexico. And why is that the key match? Of course, I would bracket those 2 nations, Mexico and Poland, as competitors for that second spot here behind Argentina. Don't get me wrong, I do think Mexico and Poland can actually win this group, Group C, in the World Cup in Qatar. But realistically, on paper, when you look at these 4 teams, you would say Argentina first, and then it's a toss-up between Mexico and Poland. And again, if you get the better of your opposition in that first game, of course, on the 22nd of November, and guess what? You've suddenly become not only favourites for that runners-up spot, you become contenders for that group winning spot. And again, if you win that group, guys and girls, in Group C, you're going to land yourself a favourable tie in the second round of course, the knockout stages. So win that game against Mexico, which is absolutely monumental. It's the first game of your tournament, and you've got to come out of it without a defeat. That's what I'm saying here. Get Lewandowski up and running, get a win, get the 3 points in the bag, and you just don't know. Then you'll set yourself up in your third game against Argentina. So basically what I'm saying here, you win the game against Mexico. I'm anticipating you would beat Saudi Arabia, but again, that's not a given. Do not get ahead of yourselves. I think Saudi Arabia are a difficult team, and they're going to make it difficult. They're going to take points off of you, all three of you, Mexico, Poland, and Argentina. Saudi Arabia are going to be stubborn. They're going to nick points here, there, and everywhere. But unfortunately, I just think they're going to be a little bit too shy. But Poland, though, hopefully, in their eyes, they beat, of course, Mexico, and of course then they'll take on Saudi Arabia, where they should be beating them. That's 6 points out of a possible 6. You're then looking at a straight shootout between yourselves and Argentina for that top spot. You win your first 2. If you draw against Argentina, you just might have enough to be group winners, none the same. So very, very important game. That is, of course, the key match in my eyes. 11-10 for them to qualify. It's going to be tight, and of course to win the whole thing, 125-1 for them. So it is the Polish. The Polish have got some ingredients. They've got good goalkeeping competition at the back there. They've got a recognised goal scorer as well, and they've got some creativity in midfield. What about that back four though? They've got some young guns coming through the ranks, and they've got some experience in there, none the same. But is that going to hold up in the later stages of this? But first and foremost, they've got to get out of this group in a very, very difficult group. So Linda, what you got for me?
Can they win the World Cup?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say yes, Poland can win this World Cup. I don't know. They're in that 8. They're in that 8. I feel that that's going to prove to be... They're going to be my dark horse right here. I'm not saying they're going to go out and win it. We'll answer that question in a second. Hold your phone there, Linda. But I think they're going to be difficult. They're going to be... You don't want these guys in the knockout stages. So whoever's looking over their shoulders when, of course, this tournament kicks off, they're going to be looking at this group. They're going to be looking at Poland, and of course, and potentially looking at them as second in this group. But don't get me wrong. I still think they've got the capabilities to win this group. And if you win this group, then guess what? You're going to take a weaker team in the second round, and who knows? You get past them, you can get to quarterfinals. You're in that final 8. So for me, I think Poland have got the potential to cause some upsets and be a Croatia. You know what I mean? Croatia last time around, they made it to the final. Nobody anticipated them. You never know what kind of bracket we're looking at, of course, when we get to the knockout stages. But for me, Poland have the ingredients to cause some problems and, of course, potentially win this World Cup. But will they win the World Cup?
Will they win the World Cup?
Will they win the World Cup? Just how we asking me, Linda, will they win the World Cup? No, they will not win the World Cup. They've not got... of course, they have a player. They have one of probably the top 5 players in the world right here, right now. We're talking about Lewandowski. He might be getting on a little bit, but he's just made a transition from the juggernauts of Germany to the juggernauts of Spain. He is decent. He's playing games. He's not there on a super sub. He's playing games. He is, of course, very, very important to their plan moving forward. He's even more important, though, for Poland. If he gets injured, then guess what? There's problems ahead for Poland. They'll be there for the taking. They won't have that leader. They won't have that commando. They won't have that goal scorer. They won't have that experience, that mentality, that winning mentality. So keeping him fit, can he last the whole tournament? That is the question. I think he will. I think there will be a phase where Poland will be struggling. So I don't think they're going to win it, but can they win it for sure? So if I'm going to put my money on it, I'm going to go for a quarter-final berth for Poland on this one. It's a very, very tough old boot. And again, that game against Mexico, kicking it all off, will be the difference maker. If they lose that game, they're in trouble. They're in trouble of crashing out of the group stages. But win it, and of course, they could go as far as the quarterfinals. And then if you get to that point, guys, whoever knows, you could actually go on and actually make a good old run for the title. But that's it, my short, sharp take on Poland. So there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. A short, sharp take on this nation's chances out in Qatar 2022. What do you expect this country will do in this year's tournament? Do you think they'll get out of the group stages, or do you think they'll go deep, deep, deep into the competition itself? Let me know your opinion down below. And of course, we'll look forward to non-stop coverage right here at Blackburn Overseas. We're going to have, of course, predictions, previews, reviews, reactions, and of course, reactions from real fans themselves, of course. So that's all to look forward to this year out in Qatar 2022. So make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and smash the little bell, boys and girls, as we look forward to a fantastic winter, or at least late 2022 of world football. Let me know your thoughts and opinions again about this nation, and of course the tournament itself in the comment section. But until then, guys and girls, I'll see you soon for the next one.